I just hear silence, and it was so loud to me that I didn't hear my loud dad, right?
Yeah.
Like making a scene. My mom came around the corner, and I remember us locking eyes, and I don't know what it was, but I just knew for some reason that something terrible had happened, and then my dad was dead. Like, to be so blunt, I was like, I can't believe my dad's dead. Like, this is so weird. So I looked at my mom, and she just said, like, yeah, your dad's gone.
Hey everybody, it's me, Shay. Welcome to Grief Witnessed, where we remember, where we tell the stories, and where grief is allowed to exist without fixing it. All right, everybody, today we are witnessing my friend Alexa's grief with her dad. This is Alexa. If today's episode brings up anything for you, grief-related, parent loss, or any other types of loss, just remember that I offer grief coaching. You can visit witnessedby.me. That's my website for grief coaching. Let's get into the grief.
Let's get into
it. Okay, so Alexa is also, I have to tell you this. Every time I say your name, I'm waiting for an Amazon thing to turn on.
I was that for Halloween one time.
Were you?
Yes.
How did you dress up as that?
We did like a Home Depot garbage can that you can like retract. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
And I just got inside it, and we put blue LED lights out.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so kids would scream my name, and I would turn the blue light on.
Oh,
anyway, that's a tangent.
I love that.
But you know what? I can't ever top that one.
That's great. I really like that. So you do content creation. Your page is all about grief.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how you got into that.
Yeah. I started it in, the year 2020.
Okay.
When people were
a crappy year.
Sitting at home doing whatever. And my dad had been gone for 3 years. So he died in 2017. And it actually started on the anniversary of his death day. So May 3rd is when he passed away. And I had this handle for a while called Grief Shine, because I just thought that represents who I am now. I'm someone who's sad, but also trying to shine and be happy. Mm-hmm. There's two sides of me. And, when you have a handle and you're like, I haven't really gone live with this or like shared it with people. And I looked at my husband. I was like, I don't want to do this, but I really do. Because I didn't want my personal account just to be all about grief anymore. I just wanted that to be like something simple. But that's kind of how I just got into it. I just decided to like start sharing the good and the bad and the things that made me really sad about missing my dad. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of evolved since then.
Is it still called Grief Shine?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, my name Alexa, but the handle is Grief Shine.
Grief Shine.
I know. And when I say it, I'm like, oh, I guess that's my handle.
Yeah. Tell me what kinds of things do you share on your page? Yeah.
I share things about my dad, obviously. Some dark humor on there a little bit. Just things to honor people that have gone before us. Quotes that are uplifting and just things that resonate with people. I guess when I started it, it was just a healing page for me, but then I didn't realize the community that you can build.
Yeah.
And that has been so crazy. And I'm sure you've experienced it as well.
Totally.
Now I have friends that are like, live in Australia, and I'm like, we should hang out sometime because your mom's dead and my dad's dead, and we know each other so well. And so it's kind of fun in a sad, somber way to create these connections with people that understand you.
Yes, 100%. Actually, before recording this episode, I just got a text from a couple of my widow friends that I just hosted a widows retreat.
Yeah.
For young widows. And my friend texted me and said she's had a bunch of people reach out to her wanting to know about my widow retreats for the future years. And we were just talking about like setting up like a Facebook group or like a nonprofit group where we like connect widows in similar regions.
Yeah.
So they have people, because these widows that came to my retreat, they didn't know anyone like their age that were widows.
And that's so hard because then you're all alone.
Yeah. And so now they all have 19 friends that are also young widows. But there's all these people across the world that feel so lonely because there's no one else in their situation that they know. And so we were just talking about like setting up community connections.
Yeah.
So anyways, Tell me about your dad. What's his name?
My dad's name is Daryl.
Daryl. Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. My dad died when he was 54.
Oh, that's very young.
So pretty young. Yeah. And when you're younger, you're like, that's old. But now that I'm older, I'm like, that's pretty
really young.
Yeah. He was an avid skier. So he actually died skiing, and we can get into that later. Yeah. So it was super sad and tragic and terrible. Yeah. He loved to travel. He started working at Delta to clean airplanes just so he could fly standby for free and travel when he was a little bit older. And I have these memories of him coming into my room and being like, hey, I need you to take me to the airport because I'm just going to go to Peru today. I'm like, this isn't normal. Like, what? But he loved solo traveling, and he said it really rejuvenated him. He had a bold personality, I would say, a loud personality. Mm-hmm. He was a good arguer.
Like debater?
Debater, would get into it with you, which was kind of crazy growing up with a dad like that. But really fun, I guess. Now looking back on it, taught us how to communicate. Mm-hmm. I have only sisters. So come from an all-girl family, and we were taught—
How many girls?
There's 4 of us total.
Okay.
We were taught at a very young age to just do the hard things, right? Like I never understood when boys would be mowing the lawn because I didn't have the opportunity for a brother to mow the lawn or take the garbage out.
So you did it.
Yeah, dig holes for the fence or anything like that. So we were taught to do these hard things, I think. But I'm really grateful for that looking back. So yeah, he also was a very smart man, I would say, and very well read. He loved reading, and yeah, that's a little bit about him.
What was your relationship like with him?
Yeah, I would say growing up in like early years, it was good, just normal. Become a teenager, and I feel like got kind of rocky there for a little bit. You know, you're just a teenager and your parents kind of buggy sometimes. He got on my nerves. He really got on my nerves. And I think it's funny when you talk about people that have died, we just try to paint them in these like perfect pictures. And he was not perfect. I mean, I can think back on times where I'm like, man, you were bugging me so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Tanner knew how to push my buttons.
Yeah, and you're like,
on purpose.
They're not perfect, and I think they want us to talk about like the good and the bad, right? But then a little bit before he passed away, I would really say our relationship got really strong, and I really learned more about him. I got older, and I realized, he kind of had a traumatic childhood, and I gave him a lot of grace for that, and I give him even more grace for that now, and I realize the way that he was because of the way that he was raised. He was adopted when he was 9. He was in foster care for a while, abandoned as a kid, and when you're young, you don't realize that. And now that I'm older, I think, whoa, I understand why you suffered from depression, anxiety, and all these hard experiences that you had. So towards the end of his life, our relationship got really great.
Oh, good. How old were you when he died?
I was 22.
Okay, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a young age. Like, to lose your parents. Even, I mean, I'm almost 30, and I'm like, I'm not ready. I probably won't be ready until, I don't know if I'll ever be ready to lose my parents.
No, you're never ready.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a really great relationship with them.
Yeah, and I do. I want to go back to something you said, though, because you were like, for some reason, we think we can't ever say anything that was like imperfect about them, or like, I don't want to say bad, but bad about them. And I'm curious, like, why do you think we feel that way, or the world feels that way about people that have died?
I know, that's a good question. I feel like when my dad passed away, I just have memories of people sharing like really amazing things about him, and he was a great person. I'm not trying to say he was a bad guy, but I wanted to share like everything about him with people, and I think we almost do it as a coping mechanism, because we don't want to share the bad, to be like, this is like, we want to cover things up. I think I don't know why, but I've noticed that a lot with people who lose people they love. They don't share everything. I'm not saying that you need to share everything, but I think we almost do it as a coping mechanism.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in my sharing of Tanner on social media, everyone has a really perfect picture of him. And like, he
was the best husband.
He is amazing. I love Tanner. And also like, he is also a human, and there were like hard things too. But it feels, even me talking now, like it feels uncomfortable to say, I'm not even saying anything bad about Tanner. No. Like, yeah. I'm just acknowledging that, like, he's not perfect, but it just feels weird to say, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's like a respect for the dead.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, he was human.
Yeah.
So there were like, sorry, Tanner, you're not perfect.
We love them.
Yeah. I love you. And he knows it too.
But don't you think they'd want us to also, like, I don't think they'd want us to say they were perfect. They did no bad things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they never got on my nerves. I think they would want us to share the reality.
Yeah. So should we just share like bad things? Just kidding.
The dark side.
Yeah, let me just share everything bad.
Right. And it's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you briefly mentioned that your dad died in a skiing accident. So it was sudden and unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable sharing like kind of like what happened, what that day was like for you?
Yeah, totally. So it's been almost 9 years. So May will be 9 years. So I always like to start sometimes by saying like, sometimes I share this story and I'm like totally fine. And other times it makes me really sad because I remember right after my dad passed, I would listen to podcasts, you know, just trying to relate to people. And I'd almost feel like envious or jealous of people that could share these things. And it's because if you're farther along in your journey, you're more a little bit healed, I think. So
you're just like used to it. And well, like I'm not super far in my journey, but I've been sharing it for so long.
It gets a little bit easier.
Yeah. And it's just like information.
Yeah. Which sounds weird, but I always like to kind of start that way.
Yeah.
When I share the story.
Well, maybe I'm not going to judge you. Maybe people will, but I'm not.
No judgment. Okay. So yeah, it was May 3rd. So it was spring skiing. It's kind of a weird day to like ski in the spring, but my dad loved going skiing. I was living at home actually at the time. And I left that morning to go to work and I got home in the afternoon. And, as I got home, there were cops at my house, which kind of already puts you on high alert. Like, why are these cops at my house? They were peeking over my back fence. And so I got out of the car and they saw me and they kind of were like, hi, is your mom here, Carla? I said, no. Like, I was very defensive and
quick. Like, what do you want?
Get out of here. I'm like, no, why? And they're like, we just need to talk to her. I was like, well, she's going up skiing because my dad had gotten up skiing earlier and my mom was going up there to meet him. They're like, we just need to get in contact with your mom. So I always like to share the first thing that comes to my mind is I was convinced that my dad had gotten in a fight with someone.
Oh, I see that type.
Well, like with snowboarders, he probably would have gotten angry if like they cut him off, you know. So I was like, oh no, did he like get into a fist fight with someone on the mountain? Like they're trying to, which I really like looking back at that because I think it was a really good shield and protection for me to not panic.
Yeah.
You know, because had I not thought that, then I probably would have gone to like worst case scenario. So I called my mom. My mom sounded a little panicked on the phone, but nothing like too alarming. So I just told my mom that the cops wanted to like talk to her and that when she got up to the ski resort, she needed to meet with the cops up there.
Okay.
And I was like, Mom, it's so weird. Like, I don't know what's going on. And she's like, okay, like I'll figure it out. So during that time is when my mom met with the cops. They told her that they had found my dad on the ski hill and he had passed away. So my mom was able to meet with Ski Patrol as well, who was the first on scene. It's kind of hard to share the story, right? Because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I don't know everything. The Ski Patrol who got to my dad within like 30 seconds to a minute said that as soon as she got there, he had already gone. Like,
wow.
She tried to revive, but she's like, he had already been gone. Like he must have died in an instant. So when the autopsy, I know I'm kind of trying to like piece this all together for people listening. Fine. So my dad had suffered from a really bad car accident like years previous. And so he had really bad neck pain. He had steel plates put in his neck. And over the years that had gone by, it just had been deteriorating. And he said he always had just like terrible neck pain. So the autopsy came back and it said that he just broke his neck and died in an instant. We don't know. We weren't there, right? And we didn't see what happened. But I can imagine that my dad was he was a very avid skier, right? Like he didn't hit a tree, nothing crazy like that. I think what happened, what I say to help me feel better, is that he was just going down a regular hill and might have hit a weird like lip in the ground, or a weird like a slushy part or something.
Yeah.
And then just something was off and he just died in an instant.
Like he wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always think my dad would like want me to say like he was a really good skier.
Yeah.
He wouldn't want people to know. Do you know what
he's doing a really cool trick?
Yeah, like he was really good. Yeah. So I always try to put that in there.
Oh, bless your heart.
For my dad.
Yeah. For Daryl.
Yeah, for Daryl. So now my mom has to meet with the cops and hear this tragic news, right? She's all by herself. She hasn't told anyone. I'm at home doing who knows what. They've life flighted my dad, and my mom said she panicked because she was like, I can't afford that. Like, what? They had to follow her in my dad's car down the mountain to go home because they wanted her to go home. Obviously, she's not going to stay there with all of his ski gear, his skis and boots. And as she got home, I was at home. And this is where I remember hearing the door open, and I was just imagining my dad coming in and kind of being upset, right? Because I think he's gotten into a fight.
Yeah.
And him coming in and saying how ridiculous this all was. I just hear silence, and it was so loud to me that I didn't hear my loud dad, right?
Yeah.
Like making a scene. My mom came around the corner, and I remember us locking eyes, and I don't know what it was, but I just knew for some reason that something terrible had happened, and then my dad was dead. Like, to be so blunt, I was like, I can't believe my dad's dead. Like, this is so weird. So I looked at my mom, and she just said like, yeah, your dad's gone. So it's a very shocking news, right? If you're just going about a regular Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I asked my mom where he had gone, because I think what was shocking is like, where's my dad's body? I don't know. Like, what do you mean he's dead? What do you mean he's gone? So she's trying to explain this to me. I'm just like circling my head, like, this is crazy. And I'm the youngest in my family. So I remember feeling like, can we call my sisters? Because I don't want to be dealing with this by myself, you know? But like, I remember also feeling very protective of them and not wanting them to find out, which is so weird. But I remember thinking like, they're living their life right now in like such a happy way. We can't call them and ruin it. Mm-hmm. But my mom decided to call all of them, tell them over the phone, and then they all gathered and we were together within like an hour. Mm-hmm. Luckily, we lived pretty close to each other. And then we just had to bunker down, and you're kind of just in a like grief space for such a long time that you're like, what is happening? And you're in this weird bubble. Totally. So that's kind of the story.
Dang.
Really crappy.
Yeah, that is.
And shocking and crazy and almost unbelievable, right?
Yeah. Sudden loss and slow loss are just two very different hills.
They are. And they're both hard.
They are both hard.
For different reasons. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. So what did it look like after that? Like,
yeah, I think one of the craziest things too was that obviously there were a lot of cars at my house within in like an hour, right? Like everyone at that time, we were all married except for me. I was engaged.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. My husband at the time, my fiance at the time, he was actually in England. So he was on a study abroad, but everyone was there within like an hour, like I said. And we kind of just tried to figure out like, what were the next steps? You're like in such a daze. Mm-hmm. We were trying to figure out who to call, who to tell. And people started like showing up to our house, like asking us if everything was okay. And then you have to start sharing. And then we realized my brother-in-law said that they'd already posted something to like I live in Mill Creek. So they'd already posted something to the like KSL news that a man had died up at the ski resort today at this time. And he was from Mill Creek.
Oh.
Which I was so mad about, I remember, because then people started assuming like, who could it be in our neighborhood, right? It's kind of a smaller neighborhood. Some people started texting us and asking us if it was my dad. And then we had food at our house and just so many things at our house. By the end of the night, it was insane.
Yeah. Are you LDS?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in that community of,
like so much bread.
So much wood.
What are we going to do?
So many casseroles and soups.
What are we going to do with all this bread?
Yeah. Aww.
But yeah, wow, people really show up for you. I remember someone came and asked me if it was my dad, and he had nothing. He didn't know what to do, right? And he just saw this broom in our front porch and just started like sweeping our driveway. I just look back and think like, what a simple act of service that he was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I'm going to sweep the dirt off their porch because I don't know what else to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I always think that's such a sweet thing to do for someone in a hard time.
Yes, totally.
Just something, you know?
Yeah. It kind of brings up my next question. Like, what were the things that were really helpful to your family at that time?
You want to feel a little bit of normal and like you want to stop crying because you're just in this daze. And I think sometimes people assume like I don't want visitors, but visitors were really nice because it felt like then the house wasn't empty and the house wasn't quiet. And so we really liked like some of my sister's friends would come over and make us a meal like there in our kitchen. French toast because we had so much bread.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like tomato soup. And that was really sweet because they were just trying to make us feel normal and happy. And I remember those were the moments that like really stuck with me. The people that would come in and stay a while. And I think those are uncomfortable moments for visitors if they haven't experienced something hard, like loss of a loved one. But they don't know how much it means to just create a space of normalcy for you. You know what I mean? So that was really great for us. And then there were times when we didn't want visitors. And so we kind of would have to say no. But yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, I definitely think it depends on the person. Cause I know for me, I did want visitors. Yeah. But I think some people think like let's leave them alone in their grief. And I'm like, no, I would really actually like people to come and sit with me because my house is just empty without Tanner. Yeah. And I remember I had one of my professors from my master's program text me and she's like, hey, can I bring you lunch? And it was probably the next week after it was either after his funeral or after his death. I don't remember. But and I was like, yes, please come and just sit with me and just eat food with me. And I loved that. And I don't think I ever stopped loving it.
Yeah. No, I think it's so helpful.
And I don't know why it was. Maybe it was the like wanting a sense of normalcy. Actually, I think more what it was is like my house felt so empty without Tanner.
Yeah.
And Tanner's loud. He's got like a loud voice and a loud laugh. And my house was so quiet. And I'm like, please come and fill the sound, the space in my house.
Yeah. Just having people there was so comforting, I thought.
Yeah. So like time moves forward and people kind of, not that they forget, but they just move forward with their own lives.
Yeah.
How do you think people can like, I don't know, continue to be there for us, like grievers, even when their lives are moving forward?
Yeah. Isn't that weird too? Because you're stuck in this weird.
Time feels like frozen. But everyone else's life keeps going.
Yeah, I remember going to the grocery store and thinking like, how are you guys all grocery shopping? Like my dad just died.
Yes. Totally had similar thoughts.
I'm like, they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I have a couple friends and I know this for a fact that they've put in their calendar like to text me on the day that my dad died.
Aww. Or
to text me like on my dad's birthday. And it's not even a long text. It's just like, hey, I'm thinking of you. And that means a lot. You know, I think every year when that day comes around that they have passed away, it brings up a lot of feelings and emotions, and your body remembers and stores these thoughts and feelings. And sometimes I forget, like when the weather starts to get warmer, this spring has been really weird in Utah.
Yes.
But May is usually when it starts to get warmer, like end of April.
Yeah.
And my body like goes into this fight or flight because that's when my dad died. And I have to remember like, oh, this is why. But if someone just shoots me a text and just says like, hey, I'm thinking of you, that is so kind.
Yeah.
Because then they know, and it just helps me remember like, oh, they know that I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even have to be something crazy. I think we assume people need these grand gestures, but just a text, honestly, like a heart is helpful.
Yes. I love that. Yeah, I just want people to keep talking to me about Tanner
Yeah.
forever.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you're scared. I know a lot of grievers are scared about losing memories.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, no, please, like, ask me questions because I want to remember him and I want to talk about him.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to forget anything.
Yeah. And I think that's something good for people to remember. When a griever mentions their loved one, like says their name, says Tanner, or says my late husband, or something about it, that is the opening for them to ask a question. I think we're saying to them, like, please ask me right now.
Yes. Yes.
And they're nervous, but I'm like, this is me giving you a leeway to like talk about my dad. Because I think you're so right. We just want to talk about them.
Yeah.
Because we don't want them to become nothing, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's like, what is that? Is it called Coco? That
movie makes me cry.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
It is so cute. But I just love it because Dia de los Muertos, like it's the day of remembering the dead. And they have their like verandas. What's it called? Whatever.
Credenza.
I don't know what it is. Credenza?
I don't know.
But they like put up their pictures and I just love that because they're like, no, we have to remember the dead because on the other side, when they start to be forgotten, they disappear. And I don't really think that happens, but like I kind of feel that way. Like I don't want Tanner to disappear from my mind.
Mm-hmm.
We had this grief therapist come and present at the widow's retreat. And one of the things she talked about is that our neurons, they like shed and they like shed. I hate that word, but neurons, the myelin sheath or whatever, it sheds information it doesn't need anymore. And so we start to forget things because of that. And so I'm like, no, I don't want my neurons to like leave, like get rid of that information. So I want to like keep remembering it. So my brain thinks like, no, we need to keep this information forever.
And that's why you have to keep talking about it.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah. And keep sharing memories with people so that like they become normal to share.
Yes, 100%. So you were engaged at the time.
Yeah.
How much later did you get married and what was that experience like to not have your dad physically there?
Yeah, we got married 2 months later.
Wow.
So crazy.
Yeah.
I remember someone asking me if I was still going to get married. And my immediate reaction was like, of course, like, why would I not? And then I thought about it more because I thought, oh, maybe they were thinking like I needed more time to heal. But the pain never goes away, right? And so like if I would have been like, oh, let's wait to get married, then we'd still be waiting because I would still be trying to heal from something so tragic. Now that we look back and I talked to my family about this, it was so incredibly hard, right? To like continue to plan a wedding without your dad there and to go through with the wedding. But it was so important because it brought us a little bit of happiness, right? Like we still got to celebrate. We still got to be together with family.
Yeah.
We had pictures up of my dad, of course. And so it was such a hard, beautiful day.
Yeah.
Like the
hard,
best.
Beautiful. That's
it was so hard, but so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there were so many moments. I think you hope like, I hope I'm going to feel my dad today. And there were so many moments that I'm like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Like for me personally, I felt him so strongly and I'm grateful. I know that's not everyone's experience, but I did for sure.
Mm-hmm. Had you originally had planned to do like a daddy-daughter dance?
Of course. Yeah. Like obviously that was going to be funny and I kind of wanted to be funny with it. And so we just didn't do obviously anything. I just told my cute husband, I was like, you're not dancing with your mom. Like, because if I don't get to dance with my dad,
equal footing.
So you're not dancing with your mom. So sorry. And I feel bad about that. But I just remember being so broken.
Yeah, very sensitive.
And obviously there's no one to replace your dad to dance with. And so we just didn't do that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Those are moments. I read this quote early on that when you experience grief, there's moments where you're going to have to push yourself to like step out of your comfort zone. And there's moments where you have to protect yourself. And whatever that looks like, you choose. But yeah, for those daddy-daughter dances, I definitely don't push myself. I leave the room just because it's so much more important to me to protect myself in that moment. One day I'll stay, but still to this day, I'm like, that's a hard moment for me, you know?
Yeah. I think that's like, I think it's good that you just totally respect where you're at.
Yeah.
And you leave if you need to leave.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
You don't have to push yourself unless you're feeling like it.
You don't have to be tough.
Yeah. You can protect yourself and say, not today.
Yeah. You don't have to be tough. You don't have to be strong. You can just be you.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. What does your grief look like now?
Yeah. I think it changes every day, right? But I think I'm in a good spot. Yeah. I mean, I'm 9 years in almost. Mm-hmm. I think it's an interesting feeling, emotion, like you were talking about. While I'm so grateful to not be in like that first year, I almost miss it, which sounds so counterintuitive.
No, I totally heard that from other grievers before.
Yeah, it's so weird because you think, oh, I want to be like this way down the path in the journey. But like you're saying, their memory gets thinner. Yeah. Like the memory of them gets thinner and you're trying to like remember things and think, did that actually happen? Like, what did their voice actually sound like? What were they like? What was our relationship like? So that's where it's hard because now that I'm 9 years in, I'm 31 and I have a kid now. Mm-hmm. We didn't have any grandbabies on my side of the family. Mm-hmm. And now there's 7. And so unfortunately, there's so much more to grieve. Like the further along you go on your journey, you get better, but there's so much happiness, right? But it's always tainted with a little bit of sadness.
Yeah.
And you'll be experiencing like the happiest day or the happiest moment. And then you'll think, oh my gosh, I wish that my person was here to experience this with me. That's kind of what my grief looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good until I'm not good, you know? Yeah. And that's where it's so interesting that something on a random day can just make you bawl your eyes out in the car or something like that.
Do you have like, are there any like, I don't want to use the word trigger, but just things that like really bring up stuff with your dad, like songs or I don't know, TV shows?
Oh yeah. My dad loved Billy Joel or like from what I remember. And I just think of him like dancing. And so whenever I hear any songs by Billy Joel, I always think of my dad. Like any 70s, 80s music, I always think of my dad. So it's not like what's a better word than triggering?
I know. Like it's like a grief
moment or
grief moment, grief activator.
Yeah, that's a good word. Grief activator.
Gift. I don't know.
Something like that, right? Where it just reminds you of your person.
Yeah.
So for sure, music like that. And honestly, like any moment with any of my cute little son or the grandkids, I'm just like, dang.
Yeah.
That sucks, you know? Yeah. Because you're like, oh, dang, he would have been a funny grandpa.
Yes.
And so it's so happy, hard. But so incredibly sad.
Yeah. I have that. I definitely have that come up with Tanner.
Yeah.
With Amy Lou. Like, oh man, I know how Tanner would be reacting in this moment, in this interaction with Amy Lou. Yeah. Do you ever see signs of your dad? Because I definitely see signs of Tanner.
Yeah, but you go, I want to hear yours.
You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you mine.
I read this book called Signs. Have you read it?
No, but I probably should.
Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson. It's phenomenal. I had multiple widows recommend it to me, but one of the things it says in there is that like electricity is really sensitive to the other side. Like, so the other side can influence it. And there have been a couple times where Amy Lou has been either really, really upset or very sick. And I'll be in her bedroom and the lights just flicker on and off and on and off and on and off. And one time in particular, it wasn't too long ago, maybe like a month ago, Amy Lou, I went and I picked her up because she had been crying really hard during the night. I picked her up and the light was turned off. And she was very sick. She just started throwing up and the lights started flickering on and off and on and off. Like Tanner was upset that like she was
living
so
Stranger
sick.
Things.
Living Stranger Things. But with Tanner.
Yeah.
Trying to freak me out.
He's in your upside down in a good way.
Yeah. And I remember talking out loud to Tanner, like, I know Tanner, I know she's sick. I'm taking care of her. I know you don't like that she's sick because he just that's
I'm doing the
just
best
so
I
him.
can.
Yeah. He's just like so concerned that she's sick. But that's like one thing that I know is like electricity is really sensitive to the other side, the upside down.
I believe it.
And then the other thing is like butterflies.
Yes.
Butterflies is such a thing for me. And then there are some songs that are like really special. And so if they just like randomly play on my Spotify or something without me asking the Spotify to play it, I'm like, oh, hi, Tanner. And then I just talk out loud to him. Do you have specific signs similar to that?
Not specific, but now that you're asking me, this makes me think, for anyone listening, if you do, you should write them down. Because I'm like, now that you're saying these things, I'm like, oh, I can think of moments. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I should write them down as like dad moments.
Yeah.
Because then I think you're granted more of them.
Yes. When you really pay attention.
Yes. When you pay attention, you recognize them. I think then they happen more.
Yeah.
For me though, I'm a very vivid dreamer.
Oh.
So I'm really grateful. I know
I'm
that's
jealous.
I know. I'm really, really grateful, like incredibly grateful. So I do have a dad dream journal where I do write down any dream I have with my dad.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's just like there, right? It's like nothing crazy. But there are other times when he's there and we're having this conversation. And I would say like 9 out of 10 times I can recognize I'm dreaming, obviously, because I see him and he's alive. And I'm like, wait, no, you're dead. Like what? I'm dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get to have these conversations with him. And I try to ask him a million questions and he always laughs at me like, I'm not going to tell you, you know, cause I'm like, where are you? What are you doing? What's it like? How, like, what's it like? And he's like, like, he's like, no way, ma'am. I'm like, dang it.
I know I've had conversations with Tanner similar to that where I'm like, hey, like, well, I ask him stuff kind of about my future.
Yeah. Like, tell me, what's it going to be like?
Let me ask you this question about this person. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, what the heck? What's the point of being an angel? Come on. You're supposed to know these things.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Read the book. Signs.
I will.
Really good. She's a psychic medium, which I did not believe in before.
Oh, I do.
I do now after reading that book. I'm like, oh yeah. I definitely think, I don't think everyone that claims they are actually are, but
yeah.
I definitely believe in them now.
Yeah, totally.
Crazy how death does that.
It changes your beliefs and your mindset on things. So it's crazy.
Totally does. So what does moving forward look like for you? Like with your love of your dad?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
We try to honor him all the time. I would say like we really do celebrate him on the days that he deserves to be celebrated. My dad served an LDS mission in Peru, and he always wanted to take all of us to Peru, and he didn't get to, but the 1 year of his passing, we all went to Peru.
I love that. Oh, I got goosebumps.
So it looks a lot like that. I mean, we don't go to Peru every year, obviously, but we always try to do things to honor him and talk about him. And I think that has been like so healing for all of us. Yeah, like we always have his favorite ice cream.
What is it?
Nelson's Frozen Custard. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just vanilla base with hot fudge Oreo malt.
Yeah.
Very specific. But he loved milkshakes, concretes, anything like that. We'll have Peruvian food a lot in honor of him. Pizza. There was a specific pizza place by our house that he loves. So I think just moving forward, you know, it looks a lot like being happy and sad.
Yeah.
And being okay with it.
I like that. Being happy and sad.
Yeah. Like you're having both emotions. And I remember just feeling the pressure to like get over it, you know, like, okay, this is going to pass. But then when I realized it was never going to pass and it was always going to be with me, you've heard that quote, I don't know, like a stone or a rock, it's always with you.
Yes.
And I heard someone say the other day talking about grief, like the ocean, like it's just like waves. Like sometimes they're horrendous and nonstop and forceful. And that's what your grief will look like. And other days it's going to be really peaceful and calm and steady. And then other days there will be a memory that comes up and it might be a little bit more crazy, but it's always going to just be like different. And the waves are going to look different. And being okay with that.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, last question. Share with me one of your favorite memories or multiple of your favorite memories with your dad.
Okay, one memory is I actually was younger, but my dad always loved sharing this story, so I always love sharing it too. He worked for this company, and then we somehow got to go on a cruise ship, and it was like no one was on the cruise ship hardly. It was like just his company. And I was 6 years old, and so I like didn't realize that that's kind of crazy to be like, no, there's no one on this cruise ship, and just like the crew and you.
Yeah.
But we went to this yoga class one night on the cruise ship, my whole family, and I guess I fell asleep. And I do remember falling asleep on this, like during this yoga class. It was so peaceful, probably, I'm just like passed out. And my dad picked me up, and I remember he like took me to bed. And I just have this fond memory of just like being 6 years old, but still feeling so little.
Yeah.
And him just like tucking me into bed and how safe you are as a little kid. And he would always love sharing that story too. So I'm like, I know that was really like meaningful to him. I was his last baby.
Yeah.
My sisters are a little bit older than me. So I'm sure he's like just hanging on to these like younger years of his last kid. But that's like such a fond memory that I remember him sharing. And so I just like to think about that.
Oh, that's sweet. It makes me think of like, someone said to me like, there will be one day where it's your last day that you hold your kid.
And you don't realize it.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want that to happen. So when that comes up for me and they're a teenager or an adult, I'm going to be like, let me hold you real quick. But I can imagine that's how your dad felt. He was just trying to like savor all these moments.
I know. And now that I'm a mom, I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that's really sweet. I think that illustrates a lot about like what your dad's like.
Yeah.
Oh, Daryl.
We love you, Daryl. We love you. Call him Papa D sometimes.
Papa D. Yeah. How do you talk to your son about him?
I mean, he's still pretty young, but my cute
year and a half.
Yeah. My cute mom makes a book for every grandbaby that's born, just like a book of all the pictures of my dad so that we can read it to them. So that's really fun. And we'll just show him the book. My sister's kids are a little bit older. And so they're pretty blunt. Sometimes they'll be like, how did our grandpa die again?
Yeah.
Like, is he dead? And like my sister's like, I'll just be driving in the car, like bawling my eyes out. Oh. And she's like, and my son will be like, is grandpa dead? And she's like, yep.
Kids.
But yeah, just talking about him a lot, right? And the book is really helpful to show pictures.
Oh, I love that. I have a book for Amy Lou too.
Yeah.
Well, I have like 3, I think.
That's cute.
Yeah.
You need to though, because you want them to always remember them too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story about your dad and letting all of us witness your grief. Yeah, I know like sharing is incredibly vulnerable. So I'm very grateful that you're so open with us. If you would like to continue witnessing other people's grief with me, you can follow, like, and subscribe. Thanks, Alexa.
Yeah, you're welcome.